Hello and welcome students. It's Nazia Begum here, your physics lecturer, welcoming you all in today's lecture. So today we are going to discuss about one topic which is electric flux, and then we will discuss about Gauss's law which is related to electric flux. So first of all, what is electric flux? Electric flux linked to a surface area is a quantity. Then in bracket you can see here it is written scalar. Okay, so remember this point that electric flux is a scalar quantity. So electric flux linked to a surface area is a quantity formed by intensity of electric field E and area normal to it A, such that phi E, where phi represents the electric flux, okay, phi E equals to E into A. So you can see E is a vector quantity, A area here we are taking a vector quantity because area here is having a specific direction. Okay, in the definition you can see it is written electric field E and area normal to it. Okay, when we have written area normal to it, so we have specified the direction of area. Okay, so electric field E and area normal to it A, they together make electric flux. So here area is also a vector quantity. Okay, so vector E into vector A, you can see dot product is here, so that's why, okay, phi E is representing the electric flux, phi represents the electric flux. Okay, an electric flux because of a particular field we write as phi E. So phi E equals to E dot A, vector E dot vector A. So it is the dot product of vector. Okay, so it can be written as E A cos theta. Now let us see what it meant when we say area is normal to the field. So here you can see E is there. Okay, this is the direction of electric field E. Okay, so if we put any surface perpendicular to this field, so this electric field lines will pass through that area. Okay, so the number of electric field lines which are passing through this area is called the electric flux. So electric flux is nothing but the number of electric field line passing through an area, and the lines will pass through an area only when the area is perpendicular to it. Okay, if the area is in the same direction, it will not pass through that, it will pass from side by side but not through that. Okay, so when the electric field lines are passing through any surface, the number of field lines passing through this surface is called the electric flux. So from here one more thing we can understand, that if the electric field intensity is more field lines will be there, more lines will pass through the area, so there the electric flux will be more. If the electric field intensity is less lines will pass through the area, and that's why the electric flux will be less. Okay, now suppose we are having this type of surface randomly arranged. Okay, it is not having a proper shape, so that time what we have to do, we will take the electric flux for small surface, as we have done in so many other derivations. So for small surfaces we will take the area and then we integrate to get it for full area. Okay, so that's why electric flux is not written in form of E into A, where A is the total area, but it is written in form of E into ds. Okay, if we take one small area ds, small electric field d phi e will be E into ds. So what will be the full area? Phi e equals to integration of E into ds. Okay, so that we will write as, dot product is there, so we can write as E into ds cos theta. Okay, so wherever we are now using the term electric flux, we are directly not going to write E into A, but we will write E into ds. Okay, integration of E into ds. Now let me tell you how to write electric flux, means what kind of symbols we are using. Suppose electric flux is related to surface, so we write it as integration of surface. Okay, when the electric flux is for a closed surface, so we write it as circle integration of surface. Here you can see, here is the integration sign, and here you can see with integration sign one circle is there. So this is called circle integration or closed integration. This is for closed surface, so it can be written in this way: circle integration of surface E into ds cos theta. Now let us discuss about Gauss's law. So here in diagram you can see one closed surface is there, in which a charge is there q. Because of this charge, these are the electric field lines, okay, which are passing through this area. Okay, this is the area through which they are passing. So we take any random electric field line E, and this is A. There is angle theta between E and A. Okay, so when the charge particle is inside a closed surface, that time what is the quantity of electric flux? That we will discuss in Gauss's law. So according to this law, the electric flux linked with the closed surface is 1 upon epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed by the surface. Okay, so what is written here again, let's see. The electric flux linked with the closed surface. So how we write it? Circle integration of E into ds. Okay, closed surface is there, that's why circle will be there. So circle integration of E into ds, that is the flux linked to the closed surface, is 1 upon epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed by the surface. So total charge here is q. So 1 upon epsilon naught times of q is q upon epsilon naught. So this is the law given by Gauss, that the net electric field, the total electric field in a closed surface is equals to q upon epsilon naught, where q is the total charge enclosed by the surface. Now let's see the proof. So here one charge plus q is there, enclosed by a surface, a symmetrical surface, radius r is there. Okay, this is the electric field and this is the direction of area. So the angle between A and E is 0 degree here, and the total area, because it is spherical, so total area S equals to 4 pi r square. Okay, and why this area we are taking spherical? Because from here E equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q upon r square, we know that the electric field is related to square law. Okay, so that's why the area will be spherical only. Okay, this we continue in second part of today's lecture.